Miami Heat fans, who would have ever thought the Miami Heat would be number one in points per game and pace? The fact that we came from barely scoring 90 points, going on 2, 3, 4 minutes in the fourth quarter without scoring, blowing leads, stagnant offense. I'm just amazed that you're telling me that our starting five pretty much had 20 points. It's crazy to me. And thank God that Eric Spoelstra and the Miami Heat weren't stubborn. They were willing to change their offensive scheme. They were actually willing to go reach out to someone else. Thank God. Because I want to win a championship this season, and I really do think the Miami Heat can do it. Bam Adebayo on being number one in points per game and pace. We know we have a team and a system that took a long summer to build. This, and look at the past 2 years. Spo just scrapped the book and was like, this is how we're going to play. We built a team that can sustain that. And the biggest thing is they are sustaining it. We've heard Miami Heat teams come into the offseason and say, oh, don't worry, guys, we're going to play fast. And then when the season starts, they don't play fast. But thank God we have young guys. Bam, Tyler, Wiggins, Powell, they're leading the way. With the East wide open, I don't see anyone in our way. Is it going to be easy? I'm not saying it's going to be easy. And of course, you also have to look at the Western Conference. But we have a good shot to get to the Eastern Conference Finals.
A team and a system that we've obviously it's took a long summer to build this, but and then you look at the past 2 years, and Spo just scrapped the book. It was like, this is how we're gonna play. We're gonna play totally different. We want to play fast. We want to play with pace, and we built a team that could sustain that. Like when we play together and we share the game, like our whole what was it like? Almost a whole starting five almost got 20 points. Like that's really sharing the game, and obviously on the other end we were activated.
Spoelstra has high praise for Andrew Wiggins, which I told you guys, Andrew Wiggins was not going to be garbage. Obviously, he's not Jimmy Butler, and we don't need him to be Jimmy Butler. But he's a great two-way player. He's athletic. He's a defender. He's only 30 years old, and I feel like a lot of people forget that. He's a champion. He's a veteran. We got Jimmy Butler at 30 years old. And Andrew Wiggins in his last 4 games, 20.3 points per game, 5.8 rebounds per game. People forgot the game-winning dunk he had. He's constantly hitting big-time threes down the stretch, making great defensive plays. Eric Spoelstra says he's one of the elite two-way wings in this league. What he can do defensively is special. To be able to guard 1 through 5, he's in great shape and can take multiple efforts. At the end of the day, I was trying to tell y'all, when the Lakers came to us and said, we're not going to give up a first for Andrew Wiggins, why not? Why do we have to give up our players for free? It just makes absolutely no sense. And to be honest, one thing I haven't heard is, you see what happens when you don't have a bunch of undrafted guys on your roster? Everyone on our roster, for the most part, has been drafted, especially in our starting lineup. They're all former first-round picks. I'm not saying you can't have undrafted guys on your team, but when your whole team is molded and shaped through undrafted guys, your talent ceiling can only go so high. We haven't had a scorer like Norman Powell ever in the Jimmy Butler era. Outside of him, outside of Tyler and Bam and Jimmy, we have not had a scorer like Norman Powell. We haven't had a point of attack defender like Davion Mitchell in the Jimmy Butler era. This is why it's so important to go out there and actually get talent. And once again, I know a lot of people have different opinions. They want Tyler Hero to come off the bench. They want Tyler Hero traded. We have to be realistic. The Miami Heat are not doing that. They're going to want to see this team through. I want to see this team through. I want Khalil Ware to start. I understand we don't have a backup big. That's the Miami Heat's fault. They chose to come into the season without a backup big. I don't care about the luxury tax. You need a backup big. There's just certain rotational pieces you need in the NBA.
Really putting in the work behind the scenes. He prepared himself, this summer, but even throughout, the season, he's putting in the work. And I just think he's one of the elite two-way players, two-way wings in this league. What he can do defensively is special. To be able to guard 1 through 5, and he's in great shape, so he's able to make multiple efforts, and they do it in such a unique way. But then offensively, he's a tough cover because you get him in the open court and he gets downhill. He's a great finisher. He's athletic, but also these, drives, within what we're doing. He's a great finisher on the catch and goes, and he's gaining confidence. We want him to shoot his open threes.
Same thing with Davion Mitchell. The fact that we gave him an opportunity and look what he's done with it. The fact that he has the best assist-to-turnover ratio in the NBA. Spo with praise for Davion. He really helps what we're trying to do. He gets/understands it, and then he can execute it. He's fast as heck. He really wants to set up the guys. And that's the biggest thing. When you have a point guard that's actually willing to set up your teammates, your offense is going to flourish. Every time Davion gets the ball, the first thing he's doing is pushing that pace. And thank God. I'm tired of playing small. I'm tired of being stagnant. Finally, we have a Miami Heat offense that we can enjoy. Finally, the Miami Heat are actually enjoying the regular season, especially as fans. We've had terrible regular season these past few seasons. But once again, it brings it back to, you see what happens when you have talent? Davion Mitchell was a top 10 pick in his draft class, and people forget that. Not only can he be a lockdown defender, but he's showing you that he can get downhill, get to the cup, lock you down on the other end, and also facilitate the basketball.
It's the pace. You know what? Every time there was an opportunity for us to extend a lead in the open court, he was just making all the right reads. You know, the kick ahead passes, the cross court passes, pushing it, you know, getting in the paint and kicking out. And then, you know, when they were scrambled and then a big was closing on him, you know, he knocked down his threes. Yeah, he really helps what we're trying to do. He gets it, he understands it, and then he can execute it. And he's fast. He's fast as heck, and he really wants to set guys up. You know, a perfect example of that, you know, is when he's trying to get Norm. You know, those threes at the end of the second quarter. Like, he feels the momentum of the game, and then he has that feel that all great point guards have of getting you guys open shots, you know, to really extend it.
And you guys already know how I feel. I don't really like the whole small ball thing, but if you're telling me that Bam Adebayo with 27, Norman Powell with 30, Wiggins 22, Tyler 22, and Davion Mitchell 16 points, if we're going to play like that, we can keep the starting lineup like that. However, like I said, I would still like Khalil Ware to play. He had an insane November. And then at the same time, I don't like small ball, and we keep getting out-rebounded. But if the offense is clicking, if the offense is going to continue to generate 140 points, which Miami Heat fans, that's not realistic. It's not going to be every single game like that. The Miami Heat starting lineup is not going to all average 20. However, it's about wins. I understand y'all want Tyler gone. It's not going to happen. Some people want Davion to come off the bench, Powell to come off the bench. Spo's going to play this small ball lineup until the wheels fall off. As long as we're winning games, that's all that matters to me. Norman Powell about adding Tyler Hero. I think it's getting more comfortable for all of us. It's all about picking our spots and playing off of one another. It's really good when you have so many offensive guys that can get you a bucket. And that's the difference between all the years prior. We have multiple guys that can go get you 20. Now in the playoffs, you can't double Tyler, you can't double Powell, you can't double Wiggins, and you can't double Bam, because at the end of the day, someone's going to be open. Now you actually have multiple guys that can actually attack you on the offensive end. They can't key in on one or two specific people. And especially how our offense is free-flowing. Oh, bro, I'm telling you right now, the NBA is in trouble with this fast-paced Miami Heat team.
I think it's getting more comfortable for all of us, you know. Every single game is going to be a little different in the flow and how it goes. You know, Bam started off really hot, getting it going, so feeding him, and then Wiggs was getting going, especially early in that first quarter. You know, so it's all about all of us, you know, picking our spots and playing off of one another. We play so fast and have so many possessions that, you know, everybody's going to be able to get their touches and find their moments throughout the course of the game. But I think our focus, being on the defensive end and being able to get stops and get out in transition, kind of fuels everybody, and everybody's kind of able to get going. And, you know, tonight's really good. I mean, all of us scored in double figures, over 15. So, I mean, it's really good when you have so many offensive guys that can, you know, get you a bucket throughout the course of the games in different moments that we can go to and rely on. But I think the more and more we play together, understand, you know, all of our spots and where we like to have the ball, we're just going to keep growing, and the scoring is going to keep coming in bunches. But our focus in that unit is definitely going to be on the.
Make sure you hit that subscribe button. We're pushing to 10,000 subscribers.